You've heard of unconditional love, but have you heard of the secret to unconditional happiness and allowing more into your life? More wealth, more success, and more love. More freedom in your life right now. Welcome to the Happy Bar with Israel Savage.
There have been two instances in the last, I want to say 10 days or a week, where I've had feedback from somebody who's a close friend and yesterday somebody at work. And what I noticed about myself is that it's difficult for me. It was just sensitive feedback, so I retracted into shame. And I was aware of it, and I soothed myself out. I was considering with my boss at work, talking to her about maybe mentoring me, because she said, I don't know if I should go into specifics of what she said, but it hit a nerve. So
she's the one who said it, and you wanted to get her.
Like she told me that I make things harder on myself, and we were talking about a practice an upcoming audit that we have at work, and I kind of take the lead on a lot in our team because I have a lot of experience, including over her. Mm-hmm. But what I'm noticing about myself is that I want to remove my ego from things, because I know I hear messages in my head where I want credit for things, and I know it's not about me, and I don't want to get myself there. And then I try to dig deeper, like, what am I missing that I'm obviously not getting by still seeking that? And I know it's a relationship with her because we have some past history of when she came on our team. And I think what I'm looking for is to forge a better relationship with her, and ultimately, I think first with myself, around not going into shame. And she has a good quality of rebounding, I've noticed from feedback she gets, with a smile, and I go into cringing, I'm shameful, and it ties directly into my self-worth and being Jewish, and just not always Jewish, but deep down things. So that I want to remove my ego from, needing credit or acknowledgement, because I know I'm venerated on the team and in my job. I am. I've won a lot of awards and I'm highly regarded, but she's right. I get in my own way. And that, I think that's a piece, Israel. Like, I still need to mentally get to a place where I can get in a better feeling thinking, because it takes me a long time to get from here to get to a better feeling state. Many, many tangled thoughts in between that don't feel good to ultimately get me to help myself get to better feeling thoughts.
The good news is that the universe works the same for you as it does for me, as it does for Bill Gates, as it does for Buddha, as it does for Jesus, as it did for everybody. The laws that apply to all these folks apply to you and me as well. There's no prejudice towards or bias towards any of us. One principle to talk about is one that we mention often, and that's what a belief is. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. A belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And if you're having a bumpier ride than you would like, and know that some bumps are necessary, but there's a difference. You know when a bump is a necessary bump that is going to help you reach greater clarity in the way that it feels. Because it doesn't feel like oh my God, I hate this. It feels more like, that's interesting. I wonder where this will lead. You don't want everything to go according to plan. You want there to be some opportunities for discovery. So if you are experiencing the kind of bumps that are more like, I hate this, get me off this ride, experiencing that sometimes, and we all experience those. I experience those where I'm like, oh my gosh, will this ever end? And I don't like this. Enough already. Now, even those bumps are helpful. Mm-hmm. Everything is working for our good, because it creates in you a desire to want a less bumpy ride. Okay, what do I need so that I can smooth things out for myself? But again, remember, a belief is just a thought you keep thinking. And what you are experiencing as those big bumps that don't feel good are beliefs that you're stumbling over. And who put those big rocks, those beliefs in the way? Well, you did. Don't sweat it, because you can't realize that while you're on the trail, when you're all hot and dusty and hiking. When you're in the middle of it, it's hard to see. Oh, I did this, and now I'm going to undo this by doing this and do it. In the moment, you can't see that. There's a momentum now. Now we're zooming out, and we can see that. And so I'm going to reflect back to you just a few beliefs, that few of those rocks that are in your way. One of those is that you keep getting in your own way. That's a big belief, and you're reinforcing it verbally, and you are surrounding yourself with people who reinforce it for you. Let me pull you aside. There's something I've been meaning to tell you. You get in your own way. And of course, you say, oh, yes, boss, mentor, you must be brilliant, because I think that same limiting thought about myself. And if you agree with because I'm brilliant, then you must be brilliant too. How insightful of you to be able to see the very limiting thought that I limit myself. I've done so many self-help programs and gone through so many seminars and read so many books, and boy, would I dive in. And the thing that, the attraction in all of these things for me, and the thing that kept me coming back, was a limiting thought that there was something wrong with me. So anytime someone said, there's something wrong with you, I thought, yes, you must be a genius. You're a genius, because I think the very same thing about me. So I'm a genius, and so you must be too. All right, I'll buy your program and spend a year of my life doing it, only to find out that I'm in the same spot. I'm in the same feeling spot. Oh, it feels good for a little while because someone has come along and said, I'm going to fix you. Finally, here you are to fix me. But it doesn't feel so good when on the other end of that, you're still not fixed. It doesn't stop me from buying the next program and the next program and the next program, because it's the thought that needs to change. It's the thought that needs to be realigned. It's not me. I just want to offer a reframing. I keep getting in my own way. A different word choice, a different route. It's exactly what your greater self is doing for you all the time. Your future self is already there in this place of non-resistance and standing in everything you've ever conjured for yourself, saying, okay, you won't allow it this way. So recalculating like a GPS, how about this route around all your disbelief and resistance? This will get you there. Okay. Now recalculate this way. So that's one limiting belief and how we could reshape it. Another one that popped up to look at in your conversation is that any of this idea of getting in your own way, this idea of judging, or this idea of any sort of unpleasant emotion is who you are. It's not who you are, unless you believe it's who you are. It's not because you're Jewish. It's not because you're a woman. It's because you're a human being having a human experience. You're thinking thoughts about a topic that are not in alignment with the way your future self, your greater self sees things, and you're feeling the tension between the two. Your guidance system is working perfectly. It's guiding you. Every single one of us is born in a state of complete allowing. I don't care if you have a full head of hair, no head of hair, 2 legs, 1 leg, if you're black, white, green, brown, Jewish, man, woman. Every single one of us, our natural default state is in a state of complete allowing. There's a story that's developed, a belief that because I am a woman, I am a man, I am Jewish, I must be this way. It's just a story. Keep the story if it feels good to you. If it feeds your power, get rid of the story and tell a different story if it doesn't. And do you see how if this belief, which is just a thought you keep thinking, isn't just a belief, it's who you are, how there's no hope? there's no hope in this story you've written and created. There's no hope to be anything other, because oh my gosh, it's not just in your DNA, it's in the DNA of every Jewish person who's ever lived and handed it on to you, or every female. There's no power in that. There's no power. There's no place. No wonder that feels. You see why that might not feel good?
Yeah.
And so when you think that thought, it's who I am
Right.
because of this. The reason it doesn't feel good is because your future self does not agree with you one iota, because they're standing in all of your glory, and you're feeling the tension between.
I do realize that. I feel good that I realize that. And what you're saying.
I do too.
Like, I feel, Israel, like everything you've done so far, I feel a new terrain of being emptying my mind to just walk around and allow, and not cling to what were old beliefs because they were habits.
Yes. And when you're in a better feeling place about yourself, you will surround yourself with better feeling mentors who agree with your better feeling thoughts, not your limiting thoughts. To your question of should I choose a mentor? Well, it's more about allow your future self to mentor you. And when you feel as if you need no guidance from other people, then decide if you want this woman to be your mentor.
Yeah.
But not from a place of lack or less than, or I don't have the key, I don't have the answer, or gosh, you feel as bad about me as I feel about myself.
Right.
Be in your best feeling place, and then ask yourself, okay, do I want this person as a mentor? Maybe the answer is yes, but it's going to come from a different feeling place, and you're going to get different feeling results. Maybe the answer. Many times the question becomes irrelevant once you've lined up with your future self. And I do want to say, it says a lot about your ability to allow, your ability to step outside of your feeling and thinking spot, your current feeling and thinking spot. It says a lot that you were able to digest those very deep-rooted things. There wasn't a defensiveness. There was a great allowing, a great acknowledgement, a great releasing that happened there. Why? Because you're not someone who gets in your own way. Someone who gets in their own way would have behaved much differently. That is not a story that I believe for you. It's not a story that you need to believe for yourself.
If you liked what you just heard, then take inspired action now. That's right, act while you are feeling good. And build on your momentum. Schedule your free discovery call with me at instudios-nyc.com/happybar.